welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Kayla, and here on YouTube I am a tarot reader, I am a medium, and I am also bringing my subconscious mind coaching stuff here. So basically anytime I have topics that come up that really stick with me, or I feel like I can expand upon more with like regards to my personal healing, with my coaching clients, with my business, like anything, I like to bring that here. So that's my Let's Talk series that you'll see scattered throughout the page. But at any rate, today is a tarot reading, and today is a pick a card reading based on what's going to be happening for you over the next 3 months. It was just so clear because I think that so many of us are shifting timelines right now and like really working on making sure we're staying on our highest timeline and not getting dragged down by like the old stuff or like lower vibrational energy or anything like that. So I think that for those of you who are like, fuck yeah, I am like working really hard and sticking to my goals and my plans for myself and being authentically myself, this is for you. This is for you guys who are like no holds barred. Like, I know that I deserve what I've been manifesting and working on, and like this spring equinox portal has kind of opened us to those possibilities. And I feel like over the next 3 months some really big changes are happening for a lot of people. So that's why I feel called to do this specific reading, is like, hey, you know, let's take a look and see like what's unfolding. And I feel like there's gonna be 4 piles. Yeah, so there will be a decent amount to choose from and a lot of information to come through. So I'm excited to get to creating this for you guys. And yep, I record this before I do anything. So yeah, I haven't done anything yet. But when I say, let's look at the piles, then you're going to get to see the piles. Because I'll have it all done. Oh, filming's a funny thing. Anyway, I'm super grateful that y'all are here. If you don't know how pick a cards work, here's a quick rundown. I will show you the piles to choose from. You basically just take a moment. I like to just get very present and take a few deep breaths and get grounded and centered and clear. And when you feel like you're in that space, pick the pile that speaks the most to you, whether that's the colors, the numbers, the crystals I put on top, whatever. Go with your gut, go with the first one. And if you feel like you want to listen to more, that's totally fine. Please, by all means, like listen to as many as you feel called to. This is also technically timeless. I'm done. Anyway, okay. So it is timeless. That means whenever you land on this video, you're meant to hear one of the messages. And it basically is just going to talk about like, hey, the next 3 months from when you watch this. So, you know, everyone's going through their own cycles, and it's important to acknowledge and honor that. So you're at whatever point that you need to be at. Without further ado, I will show you guys the piles you can choose from. All right, guys. So here we are with your pile options, and this time we actually are doing crystal cards as opposed to putting crystals on top of the cards. I find this really helpful because the crystals themselves have such strong messages, and I think that like tuning into one of these in particular will actually be a great tool for you. So if you feel called to like pick up a piece or get some jewelry, like energetically having one of these on you is going to be really helpful throughout these next 3 months. So we're going to start over here. We have pile number 1 with the Bixbite, pile number 2 with Lepidolite, pile number 3 with Black Tourmaline, and pile number 4 with Petrified Wood. And I would also like you guys to take a second and tune into the numbers on the cards as well, because those could be important for you too. So we have number 9, number 32, number 10, and number 43. And I'll dive deeper into the meanings of all of those once we get into the reading, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys have that in your awareness along with like the colors or whatever. So just making sure that you take a moment to take a big deep inhale and exhale and just let it all out. Allow yourself to be clear in order to tune into what is best for you to listen to at this time. Okay guys, welcome in. Hopefully this is done wiggling. Sorry if it is. I figured out a little bit of a better setup with the camera, so I'm hoping that it's working, but it just looks like it's moving. So I'm like, oh God, don't get motion sickness. But welcome pile number 1. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is your reading for what to expect over the next 3 months from when you watch this. So you guys picked Bixbite, and what's really cool about this in particular is that it's a piece I've never actually worked with like in the flesh, in real life. So I'm definitely going to pull the book out and read a little bit deeper on it. But right off the bat, I get the feeling like, especially with number 9, like you're going through some emotional healing and growth, but a lot of expansion, a lot of love, a lot of like sensual connection is coming through. I feel like you guys are just experiencing a lot of, you're receiving a lot over these next 3 months, but I feel like that is something that might be kind of tough for you, because number 9 denotes like there's a little bit of a struggle right before the finish line, right? You're just like, am I gonna make it? Is it actually happening? I feel so close, like all these things. So it's definitely a little bit of like a tumultuous feeling, but it's like knowing that you're right. Oh yeah, I love this. Right there on the edge, it says drive, courage, full speed ahead, and spirited action. So you guys really are being asked to like push through, like stay steady, stay strong, make sure you're just connecting to like your deepest reserve of power and energy, and make sure you're replenishing yourself is what I'm hearing. Like I think that this is a big self-love message as well, like knowing that you can't really push forward unless you're giving and putting into yourself, right? So basically like a big message here is just like really truly driving and pressing forward. That is like the ultimate thing that you guys need to focus on, claiming your power, knowing that like prosperity is right on the other side. Your like connections and reconnecting with people is going to be really strong over these next few months. Like you have an amazing support system, so lean on it. And Bixbite itself might be a great like totem piece, like a great reminder throughout this time period of like, I just have to like put my best foot forth. I have to call upon my like deep strength and energy reservoir in order to make this shit happen. So maybe like if you're not super into working with crystals necessarily, just having one like physically nearby to be that reminder, right? Thought to form, like knowing like, hey, this is my reminder to fucking keep going. Or if you really do enjoy working with the energy of individual crystals, like getting some Bixbite jewelry that you can wear on you would probably be really potent. So I see that being really, really useful for you guys over these next 3 months. So let's go ahead and see. I want to get like, I would like to kind of dive into like month 1, 2, and 3 a little bit, just so you can see energetically like what you're setting yourself up for right now in this moment. So yeah, it does look like there's been some heartbreak, or you're going through some sort of heartbreak, and that's a big thing for you guys, right? So yeah, here's the thing. I think that, you know, within the first month of you guys seeing this, you're dealing with some sort of like emotional turbulence and working through it, really working through it. This could just be like past trauma for some of you guys too. This doesn't necessarily denote a breakup, but I do feel like some betrayal, some trauma, some pain, or it could be a breakup. You know, this could be what you guys are going through. And what I'm noticing is that like by acknowledging it and accepting this pain and this trauma or these things that you're working through, like you're getting a lot of clarity on your life and how to actually genuinely move forward into the energy of like who you are and what you actually deserve, want, desire, all these things. So I think that the first month is you really facing these fears, facing this pain, facing like these past traumas. Like some of you guys could just be going back to therapy. Some of you guys could be just gaining a lot of clarity on like who it is that you are and what you're deserving of. And that's very empowering, right? Like we get a lot of empowerment after seeing and understanding these things about ourselves. So as much as I know that it probably feels really difficult, right? It's like not an easy process. It's one where like you're kind of like, you get to this point where you're just kind of idealizing something, and the more that you idealize one thing and you don't take into account all the other stuff in your life, that's kind of what's bringing you a lot of pain, honestly, is like you're staying so focused on this one particular thing and you're ignoring like the other stuff that's around you, the other aspects of your life, the other people or things that actually like do bring you joy and are very fulfilling to you. You've just idealized something so much, then you're kind of potentially like realizing that and understanding like, well, fuck, I can't keep doing this anymore. It's just painful, it's hurtful. So you're getting some clarity and some new ideas on how to actually like come out the other side of this situation feeling very strong and very empowered. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus could be you, or could be the person or a person close to you throughout this process. I'm getting that. But yeah, you guys are definitely like in the feels the first month. There's a lot that you're working through, but you're coming out successful, right? Like there's clarity and there's fulfillment throughout this and on the other side of it. But the first like few weeks of the month could be like a little painful and a little like frustrating. But know that when you face that and you come like face to face with these things, or face to face with your like idealizations, that's what helps you kind of clear the air. I'm sorry, I hope you can see this. I'm sorry if I moved it too far away. So that's month 1 for you guys. But again, like really knowing that like the more you, the more you show up and face this stuff, the better it is for you moving forward. Yes, month 2, I love to see it. Okay, so like the second month, here we go. We've decided to like move on from something. We've decided to release and let go, and it's probably hard, and it's like scary, and you might feel kind of alone and just like not yourself because you're in this space of transition. But by going through it, you're really calling back in your personal power. You are calling in the protective power of the violet flame, and like especially with the High Priestess, it's like you are just in tune and in sync with yourself, and that's the most important thing. And it's something that we have a tendency to forget when we get wrapped up in other people, other situations, like other stuff outside of ourselves. This situation is helping you just come back home to you and come back home to your personal power, your creativity, your knowingness. So I know that the in-between like transition phase doesn't feel great, and it's like there's a lot of thoughts of like, did I do the right thing, and like maybe some overthinking, but knowing that at the end of the day, like you're moving forward. There's so much progression here. So like accepting the shift and the cycle for what it is, and just knowing like, okay, if I face this downward space, I'm going to like be so much more ready to receive like the upward trajectory. So yeah, month 2 just being about like that stepping back into yourself, tuning back into yourself. Who is this? Yeah, and Page of Swords, just a lot more clarity, like no bullshit. You know, you kind of like step your game up a little bit like mentally. I think that a lot of you are going through like a big mental shift and a mental breakthrough is what I'm hearing. And that's really beautiful, because I think that you're realizing that like all of this is kind of brought upon yourself. It's not so much like the other people or situations. It's more so that like you just haven't been in a space of like truly feeling and being like yourself, but now you're kind of like cutting through the noise, and you're standing very firm and strong in who you are and how you want to show up. And that's awesome. That's really like your hard work is paying off. So in month 3, what I'm seeing is that like your hard work is really paying off. You've been going through it, guys. Like you've really been going through it, and this has not been an easy process for you. And I think that like month 3 is you really acknowledging and seeing like how much you've gone through and what needed to go and what needed to be cut out in order to continue this upward trajectory, and like actually step into your power and knowingness of like who you are and how you be and how you co-create your reality. So this is a really important, strong thing to come back to remembering. And also just like with the Magician energy, I think that month 3 is going to be like this coming out of the woodwork feeling. Like you guys are really truly like you've stepped into yourself, and then it's like kind of integrating and putting everything together and stepping forward in like a totally new manner and in a very strong manner is what I'm getting for you guys. So that's really freaking cool. I'm super excited for y'all. There's a bunch of Oracle here. Oh yeah, I did. There's a bunch of Oracle cards here, so we're gonna dive into this really quick and kind of just see where everything wants to get placed. But we have 2 Astro cards that are kind of like a foundational piece for y'all. Ooh, we have Capricorn in the 5th house. I create, and it's Capricorn. So for me, like what this says is it's really saying like you are putting a lot of physical effort into the things that you want to make. So you are investing money, you are investing time, you are really pushing yourself to stay goal oriented and focused, and like again cutting through the bullshit, really moving your way through all this stuff and standing like 5th house is a lot of Leo and Sun energy, so you could be Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising, but what I'm getting is like really standing firm and strong in yourself, your solar plexus energy, your being. And with the I create, it says this is the house of self-expression and the pleasure of showing who we truly are. Like pleasure, there's pleasure in fully and totally and 100% being authentically yourself. So like not feeling worried or bothered about it, but just feeling really good about being yourself. Here we see one's creativity and artistic vision, how we like to have fun, playfulness and pleasure, games of chance, love affairs, and also children. So I think that if you guys are like really focused on having kids in this time span, if that's an aspect that's coming up for you, just getting very focused on like the reality of that and what that's going to entail, what you need to do, so on and so forth. But I also just get like coming home to self and really spending these next few months like facing and processing and working through your shit and just like being you, just actually fully embodying you. I feel like that 2nd month is really a time when it's just like, hey, like how can I fill my cup? How can I create what I want to create? How can I listen to myself better and feel better about my decision making? And taking a lot of pleasure in that. And then once you get to this third month of like integration, it's just like again, it's starting to pay off. Everything's really been building on each other, and it's been like building up to a really beautiful climax. And we have an animal spirit guide who's going to be present with you throughout this time too, something for you to connect with. And we have the sea turtle. I love, holy shit, beginnings, self-reliance, journey home. Did the words just come out of my mouth? Journey home to self. Like, I fucking love this so much. So this could make you guys feel kind of emotional. I feel like, especially with the sea turtle, we're talking like the water element. This could be something that's really important to you. Turtles could be a really important animal to you, or a spirit guide. And from what I learned on a shamanic journey specifically with the turtle, the turtles like are all about love. Like one of their main words that came back out for me was love. So I hope that, you know, seeing this just brings you guys a lot of joy and a lot of happiness, and knowing that like you are in a space of a new beginning. You are learning how to rely on yourself and stand firm in yourself, and you're consistently taking the journey back home to you. That's like what the focus of this lifetime is just remembering who you are and how you be in the world. So I think that that's a really beautiful reminder. And it, like, you could start seeing a lot of turtles. You could want to connect deeper with turtle energy, like go seeing some out in nature or in a zoo or something. Cool. But I pulled this card to kind of tap into like a specific zodiac sign or element or planetary energy that's going to be prominent for you throughout this month. And we have Pisces, again with the water energy. Okay, so you could be Pisces, sun, moon, or rising. But the other thing I'm getting here too is like Pisces energy could be really prominent for you guys right now. So if you're watching this, when the video comes out, it's going to be like right at the beginning of Aries season. So we kind of just exited Pisces season. But I think that like the things that transpired during Pisces season, probably like you gained a lot from it. But Pisces is also the dreamer. It is that like really floaty, airy water element that's just calling your dreams out to play. It's calling this childlike energy in, and this wanderlust, right? So allowing yourself to kind of get lost in the sauce of like creating yourself is going to be really, really important. And like paying attention to your emotions, you know, not getting like super wrapped up in them, but really allowing them to be like a driving, healthy force for you is what I'm getting. We also have the number 12 and we have number 7. So, you know, 3 and 7, those are very like divine angel numbers, like a lot of guidance. So making sure that you're tuning in and asking for specific guidance, like get very clear and pray and just say like, God, please like enter me and fill me with like your clarity and your peace, so that you know like the proper directions for you to go. And if you have other guides that you work with, just making sure that you're tuning in with them and being like, hey, like I just want like a helping hand, I want a candle to light the way, and just being really specific about asking for that help. We also have fill your cup with sacred giggles. We also have the number 21, which is 3 again. So we have 21 and 12, 2 3s. We also have another infinity symbol. Where's the magician? So I think that you guys, like, these next 3 months for you are just meant to be filled with so much more fun. And like the gold to me is just like abundance and like golden California coastline. I don't know. It's just like a really good feeling flowing. Like I'm totally getting that that turtle from Finding Nemo. It's like the totally chill vibe, dude, type of thing, you know? And I love that. So just like maybe watching some kids movies and just doing things that are fun and enjoyable for you is kind of something that's coming out. So I feel like really strongly that the next few months, as like tough as the first one might be, this coming home to yourself is just really empowering and powerful, and it's going to be a beautiful growth spurt into the next part of your life. And the last card we have is an affirmation card. So I would love for you guys to consider maybe like taking a screenshot, writing this down, repeating it to yourself. It's usually pretty poignant. But it says, pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. It's a lot of Leo energy there. So again, Leo, sun, moon, or rising, we're getting a lot of Leo stuff, a lot of solar plexus, sacral chakra, creation and being energy. So just taking loving pride in yourself, taking away like what you see in everyone else, you know, like what do you see in others that you love so much? Like that's a reflection of you, and really taking that into consideration and accounting for it. So I hope that this reaches you guys well. I know that we moved through it pretty quick, but I felt like strong, clear messages, and I don't want to like beat around the bush for no reason. But yeah, just make sure that you know, like the video if it resonated. That really helps my channel. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already done that. And feel free to share this if you feel like other people might find like bits of wisdom or healing or clarity within the reading. But I love you guys so much. I deeply appreciate you being here and supporting this channel, and I hope that I can just continue to give more and more and more to you guys. So thank you again, and I will catch you in the next one. All right, welcome pile 2 to your 3-month reading. So the next 3 months from now, you know what's going on. And you guys picked lepidolite. And it's also the number 32, so I feel like 32 could be really pertinent to you. That could be your age, it could be a lucky number. 3 plus 2 is 5. So 5 usually stands for like, you know, some challenges, some growth, some expansion. And lepidolite is actually one of the best stones for like emotional growth and like troubleshooting and pain points. It's just really, really, really good for emotional healing. It's very peaceful. So if you haven't gotten it from like the lilac and lavender colors, it is just a really peaceful stone. And I feel like some of you have kind of just been in like this hibernation, you know, like you're really starting to wake up and starting to like wanting to shake the dust off a little bit and just kind of transform. I feel like maybe when you're watching this, or the first month is kind of like the butterfly in the cocoon phase, you know. I'm getting this like internal, like a growing and nurturing vibe. So we're gonna see if there's like another message in here for you guys, because I feel like there might be, especially, yeah, with regards to like the relationship message. Problems in relationships have a way of sorting themselves out when we reorient ourselves by simplifying, letting go of the string of worries that has us jumping here and there, and feeling that we can never do enough or be enough to make our relationships work. Settle into simplicity and bring the energy of lepidolite spirit into your relationships. Slow down and listen, saying simply, I'm sorry, yes, and I see. Being present and focused on another person and listening to the words they speak and the messages they send silently through the language of their bodies, you will start to feel calmer. Whatever the challenge, simplicity can help. So I think that's like another thing And if you are like, you know, questioning like a relationship status or the possibility of a relationship or whatever, I think that you're really being called to like let go and release like a lot of worries or anxieties you have around like relationships or connections, whether that's romantic or platonic, and simplifying things, making things really simple for yourself. Because I feel like if Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising is kind of coming through, and a little bit of Aquarius energy as well. So if this is something that you find yourself struggling or dealing with, or you're calling into question, like simplify stuff. Just let go and get down to like the basic root feeling of things. But I feel like this is going to be a really great stone for you to either wear or work with throughout these next few months. So we're going to go ahead and use the Botanica Tarot. This deck I found on Kickstarter actually, and it's really beautiful and the artwork's incredible. But the meanings of them are a lot different and deeper than like a normal tarot deck. So I do have the book with me in case we gotta like jump in and reach out for that. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm going to do kind of an overarching like energy spread for your first, second, and third month, just so you can kind of see like how things are going to flow, show up, whatever the case may be. Okay, so we do have 10 of Pentacles right off the bat for your first month. And we have 3 of Pentacles. Okay. And I believe 4 of Wands. Yeah. So overall, I feel like you guys are coming into this space of being a lot more collaborative and foundational. In order to come to this 10 of Pentacles, like, milestone and vibe, that's really the, like, having everything card, right? Like, having all your ducks in a row, feeling very stable, your home life, your family situation is, like, very comfortable, you know? There's this feeling of, like, legacy and royalty in the 10 of Pentacles. And for you guys, I think that, like, the things that are really standing out for you with regards to, like, how you kind of get here is this collaborative energy and finding the joy in the collaboration. I think you guys really do like being around other people. You like thrive off of receiving assistance or like connecting with others, whether that's on projects, literally at work, in the home, whatever. Like, you're really coming together with people to like celebrate your wins and to like build something that's bigger than yourself, and you're just seeing like how fruitful that can be. So I think that like the energy here, okay, and 5 of Swords, yeah. So really the only thing that's holding you back from like fully experiencing that energy is just like your negative thought patterns. So like doing your best to make sure that you're staying very true and centered in yourself. And I think this is why lepidolite will be a useful crystal for you, is because when we get into this space of really overthinking and feeling like we're in this victim mentality and like we have to put our hackles up, we have to put the walls up, we're stepping away from this like joy of abundance of letting others in and be present with us. And don't get me wrong, like for those of you who have dealt with any sort of trauma, and you're like struggling with, you know, some past things, it can be really hard to open up, and this could be like your default is just kind of like being very protective and aggressive and closing stuff off in order to like feel safe. But this is old news. This is how you used to be. This is the old you, and like a big focus for you on the first month is really learning how to release this old victim mindset and step into one of like joy and abundance and like community and feeling safe in the community that you've built for yourself. Because I think a lot of you have taken time to get very clear on like who you need around you and what kind of support system you need, and that's really good. Like, you've taken radical responsibility. Now it's just like, okay, hey, how do we keep showing up and like letting go of this old stuff, right? Second month, we have 7 of Swords. Okay. So still kind of feeling on guard. Still kind of feeling on guard a little bit, but I think the thing is like too much good is happening for you to like deny it anymore. And we have the 3 of Wands. So like there's like some new adventures and some new stuff you guys are starting on, and like you're having a lot of fun. You're really enjoying it. Like stuff's moving forward, right? Stuff's moving forward. Like I think you're consistently moving up, right? We went from 5 to 7. So it's like, okay, I don't have to be as like on guard. I can really enjoy like the fruits of my labor. I can enjoy the people that I'm surrounding myself with, and like all the fun stuff. I feel like just a lot of fun things are happening for you over the next 3 months, and you're just being really pushed and encouraged to stay focused on that. Especially because with the 3 of Wands, that's just like, hey, there is this big new opportunity for you, and like you could go in a lot of different directions, but they're really saying like there's like a new adventure that's kind of unfolding for you. There's a lot of really great things happening, so just do your best to like tune in with yourself and just say, okay, hey, like are we being defensive with reason? Like, is there a reason to be, or are we just kind of relying on old patterns? And I think that like over the 3 months, it's something that's a theme for you. Oh, I want to say that that's Temperance, but give me a second to find out, because I don't know. Isn't this book beautiful too? I'm telling you, the illustrations are wild. So wonderful. I love it. Who is you? That's the Chariot, actually. Ooh, okay, okay. So we could be in like June or July, you know, whenever you watch this, or in like the 3 month span. But the flower here is nasturtium. I don't know how to pronounce that. Never heard of it. Triumph, willpower, success, taking what one has learned and achieving greatness. So I think that like the outward feeling that you're getting, you know, at the end of this 3 month span is like feeling really good about how much you've accomplished and really pushing forward in your life and kind of taking off, because you've really let go of these limiting negative mindsets, you know, and you've learned like what to pay attention to and what to like let go of. We have another major arcana card, and I don't know what it is. I'm sorry again. This is why I made sure to bring the book out. There we go. The Hermit. Okay. Yeah, humble, humility, someone who guides by example, a friend you can talk to about anything. So I think that what you come out of with all of this is like just really precious energy. I don't know. I think you guys have learned a lot, and you've taken a lot away from this cycle of life and this point in time, and you're moving forward with it. You're really running forward with it at a rapid rate. Yeah, 10 of Wands to me is like you... Another major arcana! Shit! I mean, that's great. It's amazing. I'm really... Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. The Hanged Man. Yeah, wow. So the Narcissus flower. Time to reflect, suspension, letting go. So again, like, and that ties in really nicely. So I think you're really reflecting on like all this stuff that you've worked so hard on releasing and letting go of, because the 10 of Wands is like you are just overburdened, you've taken on too much, and you need to fucking cut it out, like literally with the sides and everything. So how do we move forward? We reflect on all the things that we've cut off, and we really take that knowledge to heart and like keep it like as the golden center in our chest. So I think that that's pretty powerful, and I'm like really happy that you guys have done so much deep work, because it's showing, like it's really showing in everything that you're doing. That's also why you're receiving so much good energy, so much collaborative energy, so many good things happening, fun things. It's just from like slowly working on letting go. So whether you're working with like a therapist, or you're just, you know, figuring out how to do this on your own, you're doing a really great job. Like you're bringing the right people into your circle to help you through this process. So that's a huge positive. Whatever resources that you're investing into, however you're like giving to yourself and putting into yourself, like it's paying off. Like big life lessons being learned. So the Astro cards that we have for you are Juno and Gemini. So Gemini in Juno, and we also have some Taurus energy. So Sacred Union. This says a lot about two things potentially. One, you could be coming into or entering into a sacred union with a Gemini. Or the other thing too is that like Gemini is the twins, right? So it's this multifaceted dual aspect. So if you guys are finally like coming into a genuine like union and understanding of the multiple aspects of yourself and like your shadow self and your higher self and all these things, and learning how to integrate them into wholeness, because a lot of times we like disassociate from the stuff that we don't really like our shadow stuff. But I think because you've worked so hard on facing and working through that shadow stuff, you're learning how to feel very like united within yourself and all the aspects of self, and it's coming together very beautifully, and this feels like a huge accomplishment for you. So you should be proud and excited and celebrating, because this is a really big deal. Now we have an animal spirit guide that's going to be present with you guys, or you know, one that kind of already shows up for you that's just very prominent. So we have the giant panda. Innocence, gentleness, harmony, and balance. Yeah, so like you could be really into pandas, or you could just start seeing pandas show up everywhere. This could be a totem animal for you, but just the energy of this like gentleness and harmony and balance. I think you're a very like playful person. I think you're a very like innocent person who does like is calling in a lot of harmony and balance. So I'm gonna crack up. Again, if any of y'all are Libras, I'm just getting a very strong Libra vibe here. So yeah, that's what you guys are all about, right? Is harmony and balance. You don't want the confrontation. You just want things to like, you know, work out. And we have Neptune. So really diving deep. Like this stuff isn't like, I know this feels very like lighthearted and positive, but you guys have really done a great job at diving deep into like the specifics of things in order to come out with a lighter understanding of it. So I think that like Neptune showing up just goes to show that like you're being rewarded for the depths that you go, because like not a lot of people go to the depth that you go in order to work through these things and heal through these things and come out the other side with integrated knowledge and true growth and expansion. So that's pretty powerful. We also have befriend the word polarize. Damn, you guys are all about, it's like the coming together and the pushing apart and everything. Like the word polarize just meaning to like, you know, instigate and light something up and like feel the friction, right? Like you're really learning how to accept these multifaceted parts and learn how to like utilize them together. So befriending the word polarize, if something is polarizing to you, it means that it's going to be like showcasing you something about yourself, right? So I think that that's like really beautiful, even though it could feel kind of funky and frictiony. Things that really make you like question or change or shift is like very healthy for you, is what I'm getting. And the last one is friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. So again, I think that you guys are calling in a really beautiful circle of people right now, whether that's friends, family, just any type of support team. There's just a lot of like love and playfulness and companionship that I'm getting for you guys, and a lot of like crown chakra energy. So just being very open to source and like sacred union with the universe and like the rest of the things that the world has to offer to you. You know, I think that when we're in a state of like fear and like victim mentality, we have a tendency to like shut ourselves off from everything else. But you've really grown through that and learned how to like release it, because it's not your truth, and you're stepping into the truth that like, hey, the things that like polarize me or make me feel some friction aren't necessarily bad. It's just like an opportunity for me to learn and grow, right? So just knowing that you have a great group and that you're creating like a really good support system, good friendships, and you're just learning how to cherish yourself better. So I think that that's a pretty fucking great 3 months in my personal opinion. I know it's like over a long span of time, but you can definitely see how each thing would take its time, right? So I really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you could give the video a thumbs up if this resonated, it really helps my channel just grow. And I want to continue to grow and share this with more people who need these reminders, this clarity and these messages. But until then, just make sure you're subscribed, and I'm sending you so much love, and I will catch you in the next video. All right, pile number 3. This is your guys' 3 months ahead out reading from whenever you watch this. You guys picked Black Tourmaline, and right off the bat, especially with the number 10, I feel like you're coming out of a pretty sensitive space, and you're really working on like grounding in and also staying open. So like staying very protected, very centered, very safe. Like you're really working on protecting everything that you've worked so hard to build. So that little ding is like a lot of confirmation for me. And with 10 being like the ending of a cycle, and like you're ready to begin something new, start something new, I feel like this is a good move for you to have some black tourmaline. It's a very protective stone. It really does help with like, you know, EMFs and like negative, just like energy that you need to like disperse or dispel. This is a really great stone to work with, to wear, especially if you're any type of energy worker. I highly recommend having some that you can wear. So that'll be really important for you over the next 3 months. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into the tarot. We're gonna do month 1, month 2, and month 3, and just see what is going on for you guys. You know, what to pay attention to and be aware of your first month, your second month, your third month. Interesting. So feeling like some kind of big opportunities are coming in for you guys, whether that's like someone's really like approaching you from a 10 of Pentacles in the first month. That's, if you were interested in pile number 2, I would go back and listen to that as well, honestly. But it looks like you guys are really, there's some like new opportunities, new stuff coming towards you. For some of you, it could literally be like a relationship entering your life, like a person of interest entering your life and kind of showing you like, this is what I want to offer you, this is what I want to give to you. It's kind of like the whole package, so to speak. And then for others of you, I feel like this is a pretty strong calling for you to just be like connecting with the people and the energy that make you feel very like fulfilled and grounded again. Like I'm getting like Sagittarius, like potentially Sun, Moon, or Rising, but like you're someone who really does like enjoy the thrill and the adventure and like the choices that life has to offer. But you're kind of getting to a point where you're like, okay, like, you know, do I start to focus on like the bigger picture stuff, or am I like continuing to give my energy to lots and lots of different situations or people, which is like fine either way. And we have King of Cups, so I mean, I think that like there's a lot of emotional fulfillment happening for you in the first month. I think you're just seeing a lot of opportunity. You're feeling really good about yourself. You're starting to like understand some different aspects of yourself. And I think that, yeah, okay, thank you. This is in part due to like a fairly substantial ego death that you guys might have like recently gone through, or I think it kind of happens like it might have recently happened, and that's what's leading you into this first month is like, okay, am I like kind of ready to like shift gears a little bit and be a little less like shifty, honestly, and being like a little bit less of a player and a little bit more of like a committed person, you know, whether that's in a relationship, whether that's to like, you know, your hopes and dreams. You're just like, wow, I'm ready to like actually dive in and commit myself to really bringing myself happiness. And you kind of had to go through some sort of ego death to get there. I'm seeing in your second month, so here we go, 2s and 2s and 2s all on top of each other. So that's just talking about a lot of balancing, a lot of union, a lot of calling in clarity. And we have the Emperor. So is this another person, or are we calling in personal power? Okay. Yeah, and Knight of Pentacles. So what's interesting is I feel like when you guys are faced with like decision or wanting to receive clarity on something, you kind of go about it in a few different ways. And it's like, okay, what's gonna be like the best opportunity for me, but what's also gonna let me shine and let me like walk forth into the best possible outcome for myself, while also just authentically being myself. You know, and that's kind of like your skill in decision making in this second month is like you've gone through this ego death, you're a little bit more focused on like the growth and expansion of your life and kind of calling in like a lot more just like joy and abundance and like feeling really good about like yourself and the things in your life, whether that's relationships or work. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of water, so it's like, to me, that's like a lot of emotional fulfillment. And for some of you that could come from, and again, with the Ten of Pentacles, that does talk a lot about like family and stability and home. So like emotional stability, emotional fulfillment, relationship, home, family fulfillment, and kind of releasing that ego side of self in order to step into that. But now, like, we're in this second month, right? And the second month is all about like your superpower with regards to creating clarity around things, especially if you feel like you're getting like doubt or hate from other people. I think that like a way for you to just kind of come back to yourself and make decisions moving forward is by being like, all right, what's going to be the best opportunity for me, and how does it allow me to just authentically be myself? Because if it doesn't, then it like there is no choice, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a very clear-cut answer. So that's kind of your superpower, and that's the thing that you're going to be facing a lot in your second month. And for your third month, we have Six of Swords, which I love to see. We have Eight of Wands. Yeah, so third month, for some of you, it could be some legal stuff. Which one's this one? Hang on. Where? There's a couple of cards that I don't frequently get in this deck, so when it comes up, I'm like, wait a second, who are you? It is the moon. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, so a lot of like, okay. So for some of you guys, what's coming up is some sort of like legality. I don't want to say issue. I feel like it's kind of like a decision, right? So you've made this effort to like move into a space that feels really good to you. Things happen pretty quickly. Things are moving at a fast pace, which is amazing. And I think that like for some of you, it's a call to kind of slow down a little bit and just pay attention. Listen to your intuition. Tune into some like feminine, like softer energy, because this is very masculine energy. I have a feeling that whoever's watching this is either a guy or you just really like align with the masculine. But you're being asked in this third month to kind of like slow down a little bit and tune into the more like feminine side of things, your emotions, like how you're really feeling about something, and not just pushing forward for the sake of pushing forward, but actually like taking a minute, because things have been moving really quick for you. I feel like these next 3 months are going to move pretty fast. But really doing your best to be like, all right, like I have made a lot of movement and I have stepped into a lot of things that are good for me. So let's take a second to really evaluate like where we're at, what's going on, and take some time tuning into yourself is what I'm getting. So we also have lunar eclipse, which is releasing the past, breakthrough, pushing limitations, and healing. And we have Mars. So yeah, I feel like there's gonna be, we have Aries and Scorpio energy coming through too. So you could be either one of those, sun, moon, or rising, or you could be dealing with one of those, sun, moon, or rising. But you know, with the breakthroughs and like with the Mars card, to me, that's like you've just done a really good job at making sure that you're consistently like pushing through. Like this Aries season, I feel like if you watch this when it goes out, it's the beginning of Aries season, is just going to be a great way for you to start pushing forward and like really making all your dreams happen. There's a lot of breakthrough. There is a lot of releasing the past and like pushing yourself, which is really good at the beginning. And that's kind of what gets you through all of this and like gives you that warrior energy to move through everything. But you are being asked to kind of like, was there another one? Yeah. Like slow down a little bit and tune into yourself. Make sure you're tuning into yourself. I did ask for another, like, whether that's zodiac energy or element or whatever that you need to be aware of, or that's going to be a big part of your life over the next 3 months. And we have the sun. So this could be like Leo energy, but the sun to me, what stands out the most is like just that authentic, like joyful being. Like I think a big part of you just needs to remember that as long as you like stay focused on being like very authentically yourself and standing out however you feel like you need to, and just being centered in like your joy and your passion and your creativity, that's going to get you places, right? And we have an animal energy that is going to be a guide for you over these 3 months, and it is white pelican. Ease, optimism, grace, and cooperation. We have the number 22, so this is like a lot about balance, about unity, you know, structure, because 22, we add that together, we get 4. And just doing like the optimism and the grace and the cooperation, I think, is what's standing out to me the most. And I think that this is an animal energy you can kind of call upon and tune into, and just acknowledge that you have the ability to work through all these things very easily as long as you stay optimistic, as long as you handle things gracefully and you really cooperate with like other people around you. That might not be something that's necessarily easy for you, but it's something that is going to help make your life a lot easier if you learn how to cooperate and you learn how to stay optimistic and stay very like joy-filled and centered, if that makes sense. And we have, what do you really want? So staying very focused on your wants, your dreams, your reality, the things that you want to create, your personal energy, and making that a pretty regular question for yourself. If you feel like you're getting drawn away from yourself, stopping and listening and tuning into that intuitional, like feminine energy, like reveal to, you know, asking yourself, like, reveal to me what it is I really want. And let's stay focused on that, you know, make sure we're coming back to that pretty regularly. And this is your affirmation for these 3 months. We have grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. So there's like, what can we learn from the feeling of grief, right? And I'm getting some sacral chakra energy here. So like really, you really are being asked to tune into your emotions, especially with the moon card coming up. Don't negate your emotions. You're going to learn a lot from them. So things that you feel like you've lost, or things that make you feel that feeling of grief, being able to look at it in a positive light, in a very optimistic light. Like you're being pushed to consistently like show up in a very optimistic way, because you are drawing things and opportunities and people to you that are going to help you move through all of this stuff over the next few months. So I hope that this reached you guys well. I know that this was very fast paced. I just feel like that's kind of the trajectory that you're on, and that's really beautiful. Just remembering to slow down and tune in with your emotions when it's needed, because you'll move forward no matter what. Like you're kind of unstoppable, especially now that you've kind of like moved through this like ego death and healing space. Just staying focused and staying centered in yourself is going to get you a really long way. So if this resonated with you guys, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps my channel out. It helps growth, and it helps me get these messages to whoever needs to hear them. But I just am sending you so much love. I appreciate you tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one. All right, pile number 4. This is your 3-month reading, or 3 months from now, or the next 3 months, whatever you want to call it. But right off the bat, you guys picked number 43. So this adds up to a 7. So like 43 could be important to you, but what I'm getting right off the bat is a lot of like, 7 is a very spiritual and angelic number. So just being very connected to heaven and earth is what I'm getting. Like really understanding and seeing yourself as this divine bridge, and starting to actually like, I feel like over the next few months, next 3 months specifically, like you guys are really, leave it alone, bud. You guys are really tuning into that bridging energy, right? So like a lot of grounding, a lot of earth, a lot of nature, and gaining things from there, especially like in a spiritual way, and connecting it with like the ethos, with the cosmos, and like your just your knowledge and understanding of a lot of things, and it's coming in to be integrated. So petrified wood, let's pull out the book on this one because I want to read a little bit more about it. But the essential meaning is patience, timelessness, patience and trust in universal timing, and going with the flow. So I think a big thing for you over this 3-month period is really being very patient and trusting, and tuning in more so with like the earth energy, especially because you picked the petrified wood, so it's like literally wood, right? It's not necessarily a crystal similar to the other ones that, you know, were options. It's really like truly a piece of nature. And I think you're being called to step into that space of like trusting the timing, being okay with kind of like the unknown, and just kind of being very comfortable with where you're at is like the main thing. And if you don't have a piece of petrified wood, like looking into getting some, it could be really healing and helpful stone for you to work with over this time span. And okay, we'll go ahead and see what, so we'll do the first month, second month, and third month. You know, but right off the bat, this first month, release Archangel Azrael, the end of a phase or situation, spiritual transformation, and time to move on. I need you to go, bud. Come on. Come on. Thank you. The 13th of a month could be like important to you guys. It could be prominent, but like 1 and 3 is 4, so it's a lot about, again, like foundations, stuff moving slowly, you know, stuff moving at nature's pace, at the pace it's supposed to. But the end of a phase or situation, so I really feel like you guys have, like, in this first month, really, whenever you're watching this, like acknowledging and knowing and feeling like, okay, I'm done, I've completed that space and that cycle, and like a lot of really spiritual, like a lot of spiritual energy and a lot of transformation and change in that area. And right off the bat, what it looks like is just coming into the space of, ooh, yeah. You guys are really being called to like your absolute highest timeline right now. Like whenever you're watching this, like you've worked very hard at releasing whatever it is, like past stuff, past cycles, past parts of your lives, and stepping into this, like the King of Earth energy, especially with all this earth energy, you know, like the masculine, the divine masculine, the forward thinker, the doer, the just like the yang energy, you know, confidently accepting opportunities you're offered, the Midas touch, meaning like everything you do is going to be successful, you can't do any wrong. And this is all happening because you have stood up for your beliefs, you've stood in what you know is right for yourself, and that's what's most important. Ooh, yeah, and Queen of Water. So you guys are really stepping into this first month as like a powerhouse. Just fully like emotionally balanced, taking relationships to a new level, deeply trusting your intuition, taking care of yourself and other people. You know, everything that comes your way is fruitful, right? So like it's just a lot of positive energy for that first month. And for this second month, with 6 of Earth, yeah, gifts of money, time, or effort, new career opportunities, receiving a loan, or paying off debts. So like the 6 of Earth is really bringing a lot into balance in a very like positive and lucrative and successful way. So you guys are definitely starting to like receive everything that you've worked really hard for. This first month, I think, is about acknowledging and balancing who you have become and what you have worked through, and like seeing that justice is being served type of a thing. And you physically get to experience that like in the physical world in this second month, and just start to receive new opportunities, receive a lot of money coming your way, like from like even stuff that maybe you weren't even expecting, but like all of a sudden you're just like money's fucking like coming out of the woodwork and just showing up for you. Like career stuff shifting, you know, and I feel like luck is really on your side. I'm just seeing, again, like with the whole like Midas touch thing, like you kind of can't do any wrong. Like everything that comes your way that you feel good about. Wow, yeah, 10 of Water. So contented and rewarding family life, emotional, material needs are met, trustworthy relationships. So I think that you guys are really experiencing a lot of abundance in all the worlds and the realms that are very important to you. So like relationships, career-wise, you know, money and stability, and like knowing that your personal growth has led you here, like just by focusing on yourself, you know, that's really led you here. And like 10 of Water, like 10 of Cups is one of the absolute best cards in my opinion. It is just like ultimate happiness. So really experiencing like the joy and abundance of your life as some of this stuff is really pouring in and showing up for you. I think your cup's just gonna be really fucking full, honestly, in this second month. Like there's just a lot of opportunity, a lot of happiness. Whoa. A lot of good things coming. So then, man, everything got all messed up. It looked so nice. I don't know why they all got spit out like that. Can we like have a redo, please? All right, anyway, you guys get it. So, what else do we have? Ooh, and 4 of fire. Yeah, contentment, peace, abundance, happy home life, successful completion of a project. 4 of fire is also like 4 of wands, you know, so this is about like stability. It's about a celebration, potential like proposal energy, and like not just in the like romantic sense, but also with the whole concept of like new job opportunities coming in and everything. Like you just have a lot of things that are being offered to you in support of like your highest self and your dreams. And I love that it's all dragons. I so connect with the dragons. But yeah, contentment, peace, and abundance. Like you're just feeling really happy, and it's like a well-deserved thing. Like you guys have really, really worked for this, and this is, you know what you want, and you're receiving what it is that you want because you're deserving of it. Ooh, yeah, King of Fire, motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic. So just like, yeah, being a leader, communicating with vision. So like, because you've worked really hard and like quote unquote justice is finally being served and you're in this space of abundance, your cup is being so filled because you're now getting ready to like do a lot of leading. You're getting ready to really show up, and you can really only do that if your cup is filled. If you feel creatively fulfilled, if you feel emotionally fulfilled, if you feel financially like satiated and satisfied and fulfilled, it just fuels your fire to like really come out on top and show up as the leader that you are. But it does make a big difference when you have all of this backing it, right? Like it's one thing to just like believe and know that you're that leader, but it's another thing for the world to literally feed into that and like help propel you forward. Yeah, we have Page of Air, so like logical, honest, impulsive, and curious. Okay, so challenging information, delays or changes to plans, truth delivered without tact. I feel like the third month is going to be like some sort of reality check, right? And it's like you're very supported. So just know that like whatever it is that comes up or happens, like it's a good thing. It's all good things. I think that it's just like, you know, really feeling like you're in one space and then all of a sudden like this other stuff shows up for you. But specifically with this card having all the animal guardians, to me, that's just saying like, you know, making sure that you're very aware of like your speech and other people's speech and not taking it too much to heart. Just being very like genuinely curious and honest. But your impulsivity could kind of land you in a space where you're like, oh, wait a second, and there's like a delay, you know, because you kind of like go off track. But you know, with the Knight of Water coming in, yeah, a need to balance emotions, invitations, wedding proposals, falling in love, social events. Like, so it's, you know, it's all positive, like uplifting feelings. And I think that, hang on, because I have a feeling that I'm not got all the pieces here yet. Ooh, yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. You're really like destined to do a lot. You also have a lot of like wolf and like dog energy. Your spirit animal guides are showing up very strong. So you're very connected to nature, guys. Like, don't take that for granted. Really tune in if you're someone who like is in the shamanic space, or you do shamanic journeying or anything like that. Like, I think that your spiritual practice is gonna really take a big step up over these few months, because you're needing to, I don't want to say rely on them more, but like tune in with them more. And a huge thing is like with the star showing up, it's like you can literally do no wrong. Like, you are on your path, you're doing great, you're in like a very powerful partnership. There's a lot of creation, there's a lot of love and like happiness. And I think that
sometimes we get really carried away in like how good stuff can be, and stuff kind of like sideswipes us a little bit, and it's like, oh, hey, reality check. So I think that you're being asked to be like a little bit more aware and logical. And even though you need to be enjoying and very present in all of this like abundance and goodness, not letting it take away from like your reality, right? And like needing to use logic is very important. Bottom of the deck is 10 of air. So yeah, end of a difficult situation, embracing change, expecting things to get better, recovering from an addiction. So I think that overall, like the energy here for you guys is just like big changes are happening in your life within these 3 months, which is really exciting. It's all very, very, very positive. I just feel this note of like, hey, this is incredible. Just make sure you stay grounded in it and make sure you stay logical. Like those are your two things. It's like we can talk about the good stuff all day long and it's very present and clear, but just making sure that we tune back into that logic and that grounding. We also have Saturn in the second house. Ooh. So the second house is I have the house of resources, material possessions and values, belongings, wealth, finances, like all of the stuff that we were kind of talking about is just lining up for you, right? All of these new opportunities. And with Saturn, Saturn really is kind of like the tough love, like parent, like father energy. So I think that you've done a lot of learning. There's some Aquarius energy coming up here. You've just done a lot of learning, especially in this area, and probably in understanding like what it means to have and to feel good about having. And like I feel like there's just been like your backstory has a lot to do with this Saturn in the second house. But intellectual and emotional security is developed. And I think that you've just had a lot of hard lessons with regards to that subject matter. So that's why it's all kind of coming to fruition for you now, because you've really learned from all of these lessons, right? So I do have an animal spirit guide that's going to be present with you guys, or that you could tune into for these 3 months. And it is the koala, 44. There's a lot of angel numbers popping up here, so that's pretty cool. 44 is like a lot of strength, stability, foundation, and firmness, and like you're on the right path and trusting it. But the koala calls for calm, perspective, imagination, and ease. And I think that ease like really to me stands out because this is all really just coming to you kind of easily now because you've done all the work. Imagination, because you're really, look at all like the purple, you're really tuning into your psychic nature, your natural like innate psychic abilities. And perspective and calm, I think, really makes a lot of sense over here because you're being asked to like make sure that you're being logical and seeing things through. But just having a calm energy, like even though stuff's really, really good, you don't want to be riding too much of a high because then you're kind of setting yourself up for the crash. So just having calm, having the perspective, and really enjoying everything for what it is. I also pulled one of these cards to see what like sign or solar, or not solar, but like planetary energy could be prevalent for you guys. Ooh, we have Cancer. So you could be Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. We also have the number 4 again. So 444, it's just, you guys, that could be something that pops up for you a lot, is the angel number 444 or just 44. But a lot of like positive emotional energy and really being like in tune with your emotions is kind of what I'm getting. And like being very present with them and kind of on top of them and not letting them run you, but really like having them all around you, right? And working with them is what I wanted to say. We also have, what does your soul say? I really love that because I think a big part of these 3 months for you guys is like consistently checking back in with your soul, with yourself, and asking that question, you know, like getting clarity when you need it and making sure that you're like you're making the time to stop and tune in with yourself and really ask yourself, really clarify with your soul, like what it's saying or what it's wanting. And your affirmation for these 3 months is peace. I am a being of love, and I release all negative energy. I am a being of love, and I release all negative energy. I love that. Peace, calm, like ease. Things are just going to flow really beautifully for you guys for these 3 months. And if I'm being completely honest, like this is a very different reading from what the other piles got. You guys are really set up. You're doing so well. There's so much blue here too. So there's so much like communication, calmness, like just emotional balance is really coming in here, and it's very beautiful. It just feels very well earned. It, like, everyone deserves that, but like you've earned it is a big thing that I'm hearing. So just really, really happy for you guys. If this resonated, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps my channel. I'm very excited to grow the channel just so I can like get these messages out to more people. So if you guys feel inclined to share, that would be amazing. And also make sure you're subscribed so that you keep getting these videos. But I hope that this reaches you well, and I will catch you in the next one.